Greetings, everyone. It's my pleasure to be joining you today. In our line of work at the Iceland Ocean Cluster, we tend to ask ourselves a question every single day. How can we do more with less with our ocean resources? But before I actually dive into how we are working on answering this question, I would like to share a personal story of mine. So this is actually my small brother on the picture. Because when we were small children, my family moved to an island close to the Caribbean Sea. And beside many positive memories, something that I remember vividly is the smell of rotten fish as we cycled by the old fishing port every single day to school. And several years later, I found out what was the reason behind this. And it was basically because after the fish has been caught and gutted, most of the byproducts, they were just thrown into landfills. Several years later, when I moved to Iceland, I was so inspired to see that while back in the days, most of these byproducts were also thrown into landfill, a mindset shift resulted in innovations creating immense value out of something that many countries still do look at as waste. But how did this really happen? Because the fisheries industry in Iceland has historically been quite isolated, siloed. But in 2011, the Iceland Ocean Cluster was established with really this aim of bringing all of these fishery actors together and also inviting all of those innovators that can solve some of the biggest challenges that the fisheries industry was facing. And also creating a space where researchers can share their findings and where entrepreneurs can be nurtured. But in order for such multidisciplinary collaboration to happen, there had to be a mission in place. And this is what Mariana Mazzucato in her book Mission Economy explains as mission-driven innovations. Basically meaning that when there is a bold moonshot mission, innovations emerge as a result of it. So in her book, she actually gives the example of the actual moonshot mission and mentions that, for example, food had to be reinvented that was edible in zero gravity. And also even diapers for the astronauts had to be invented. And this is exactly the same with Iceland's 100% fish mission. So this mission transferred waste into opportunity through all of these innovations, demonstrating how a clear, purpose-driven goal can unlock opportunities, collaboration, and entirely new value chains. And just to exemplify the magnitude of this value increase through these innovations over the years, the value of one single Atlantic cod has been transferred from $12 to a potential value of more than $5,000 through innovations from food to feed to even biomedical and nutraceutical products. So, for example, I'm sure that many of you have heard about the well-known example of Kerecis, who are turning the skin of the Atlantic cod into biomedical products. But we know that not everywhere is like Iceland, and not every fish is like Atlantic cod. We also know that globally we face the same challenges. Basically meaning that by sharing good ideas and best practices, we can learn from each other and solve each other's challenges so that we can think globally but act locally. And this is exactly the reason why we are involved in several international projects, such as the 100% shrimp, that is basically in collaboration with the biggest cold water shrimp fisheries in the world, Royal Greenland, and also Primex, a marine biotechnology company that we actually have in-house at the Iceland Ocean Cluster. And basically what Primex is doing, that taking the prawn shells, creating chitin, and turning it into chitosan that can be even used in skincare applications. But really the main objective of this project is to close all of those supply chain gaps that currently exist and apply this zero waste mentality across the entire Nordics. And this is really just part of the movement that we are seeing, that there is opportunity on a global scale to turn all of these byproducts into opportunities. And a lot of this work is actually driven by our sister ocean clusters. And of course, many of the 100% fish companies. So today I have a few of my favorites with me. that I want to introduce you to. Probably you might have heard about some of them. So for example, Unbroken is one of these really innovative examples. They are basically turning the salmon protein into sports supplements. Then also one of the most underutilized parts of the fish, the salmon blood, is actually being turned into biomedical products by Salmonix. And last but not least, Haft, who are actually turning the fish meal into skincare products, a company that I'm really proud to be the co-founder of. But in order to accelerate this global transformation, we are actually really proud to announce that we recently received the largest grant at the Iceland Ocean Cluster's history from Builder's Vision. And really the main objective of this grant is to create a 100% fish playbook and also a 100% leadership program to lift up all of those 100% leaders around the globe, so that we can replicate what Iceland has achieved, but on a global scale. So this isn't just about fish anymore. It's about proving that when you bring the right people together around a clear mission, you can reshape entire industries. And this is how you can do more with less. Thank you.